Hi, my name is Mercedes Gonzalez from Global Purchasing Companies based in New York City, and I welcome you to 2021. Yay, we did it! Man, what a heck of a year, huh? And I just want to say there's a lot of good experiences. I know, hear me out for a second. We had a heck of a time. I was going to use another stronger word, but we had a heck of a time. But you know what? I call it the year of the midlife crisis. A lot of people had said it was a wasted year, a throwaway year, a do over year, but it wasn't. It was a year filled with challenges, and we lived up to it. We faced them, we endured, we maneuvered. Every day I like to joke that I woke up to the song Everybody's Kung Fu Fighting because that's the way that you woke up. You were ready. You were ready and you were able. And this just goes to show how strong you can be without knowing that you could be this strong. Um, I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of what I feel happened to all of us with our midlife crisis. Even though you might be in your 20s, it was still a midlife crisis. You had to take stock of your life. You had to figure out what your priorities were, what your challenges were, what your goals were. And then we kind of fell into three different categories, but I am not shaming any one of them. Everybody has their own path, and you choose to walk on that path. Of course, you could always change your mind, but at the moment, I feel there were three groups that we fell into. I made some notes, I'm cheating here. The one group that you might feel is disappointing is the one that gave up. The ones that closed their stores, retired early, said they wanted nothing to do with the business, but that's okay. It's called cutting your losses. There is a moment in life when everybody has to take stock of what is important to them. And if owning a retail store or a fashion business isn't your most prioritized passion, it's okay. It's okay to let go. I feel like a lot of stores that find themselves in a distressed situation hang on too long to something that wasn't working out, especially when it comes to some of the brands. They just hang on too long. And I feel like, of course, it's a very emotional decision, but it's an ego based decision that we let run what our common sense, what our mind says, and we listen too much to our heart. So that's totally fine. The next group is they got stuck. They just paralyzed in fear and they couldn't move forward, they couldn't move back, and they just kind of got stuck where they were and made the best with what they could, which again, it's fine. Sometimes we just have to take a pause. We just have to take a moment. You know, I was joking with somebody that the only day of the year that I turned off the phone, not really, turned off the phone, turned off, the Wi-Fi, turned off the internet, didn't answer an email, was on Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving for me is always very emotional. I always have a house full of what I call orphans, people that don't have children, people that don't have a lot of family around, people that are, foreigners. I collect them all and I make a big dinner, and it's always a big fuss. But this year, I stayed in my PJs. I read every magazine that I hadn't had time to read, and I actually enjoyed my time. So taking this pause, whether it's one day, 1 minute, meditation in the morning, or even a year, a lot of students, right, they take that leap year so that they can kind of figure it out. Being on pause is fine. Being afraid is fine. Being paralyzed where you can't move forward for an extended amount of time is not necessarily fine. So it is time now to take stock at what you have done and what you need to do and what you want to do, and set those steps in place to accomplish it. And the last one, it's my tribe. The ones that, literally got punched in the face every day and they got up and they're like, can I have another? Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for the street fight. I have my friends behind me. I can do this. And the key word there is friends and support. And I feel like if you have that incredible support system, anything is possible. Somebody that you could count on. And again, for those of you that may not be spiritual or religious, it's time to find some kind of God in your life, because it was just a year that if you didn't believe in something, I don't care what it was a hard year to get through. There was a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty. And just to have that hope that something bigger and greater can carry us through is incredibly important. You guys really took the bull by the horns, tossed it around, and even opened new stores. There is a Chinese letter for the word crisis, which also means opportunity. And I feel like so many of you saw the opportunity in the crisis that we were having and are still continuing to have. There's a great labor force out there that you could hire from. The retailers, the landlords, the mall developers, they're all willing to negotiate and make incredible, leasing deals. But most important, and now I'm going to get into the three trends that I want to talk about: fashion trend, retail trend, and consumer trend. The most important thing is that consumer trend has really taken the side of shopping small. Now, I don't want to say shop local because I feel that when we say that, it means like staying in your neighborhood, which for many of us was a comfort zone. But even shopping the main streets of different towns, of different locations, of doing a day trip, that to me was what the consumer was looking for. They were looking for an experience. And most importantly, they were looking for a safe experience. So it was so important, and it is still so very important, to make sure that you have Google reviews, not necessarily Facebook reviews or, Yelp reviews. People Google things. For example, the area that I am in upstate Catskills, people literally, Googled places in New York with low COVID cases, and Delaware County would come up. We had people coming, for 2 hours, 3 hours, just a day tripper to come shopping, to eat, to maybe have a drink, to go antiquing, to go exploring, to go hiking, to get out of the house. So this consumer trend naturally fell into shopping small and shopping again local, which we didn't have to guilt them this year. We didn't have to make them feel bad. It's embarrassing to say that still some of the Chamber of Commerce were saying if you shop local, a person can pay their bills. Guilt is never a reason to shop anywhere or to buy anything. So the retail environment that you provided, the consciousness of the consumer that is still afraid to go out, to be exposed, with all the new regulations, even how far that they can travel, you creating this warm, loving, safe environment, making sure that the Google reviews mentioned your COVID procedures, people came. And people will stay, especially when you have new products to offer them, micro business that you might support, local artists, local designers, local brands that you can work with and really build up both of your businesses. It is an incredible moment of opportunity that we're living in. The next thing is fashion trends. So, of course, when you read a lot of the reports and the trend forecasters and even follow what some of the majors are doing, it's pretty boring. But if you actually look at the risk takers, if you look at some of the artists, some of the fashion designers, what they're doing at home, if anybody's been following Marc Jacobs, he has had a complete metamorphosis of his persona and the brand. So I really feel like this idea of peacocking, which means really showing off of, I've been hiding for months now and I'm going to come out and I'm going to, explore different, fashion looks that wasn't normally what I did. And this is really important as a merchant and as a retailer to get out of your own comfort zone. So if you never brought in crazy mixed prints or wild florals or, really interesting off the beaten path kinds of splashes of color, this is the time to try it because the consumer wants to let everybody know that they're here. I mean, even going back as far as April and May and June, really big statement earrings, shoulder dusters were making such an impact. And that is the evolution of a trend that we're seeing. And the last thing is retail trend. The consumer is going back to Main Street. The most important part of this trend is that I don't think that they'll leave, especially with the extended customer service that we have been offering with the video shopping, the FaceTime shopping, the private shopping hours, the curbside deliveries, the drop-off deliveries, the telephone calls, the therapy we've been giving. I really don't feel that once everything is back to a so-called normal, that people will want to go back to shopping online, pure play, to shopping at a department store or even the national chains. It is really an important, great time to expand, to look, to self-evaluate, your priorities and to see where you want to take your business in the future. My name is Mercedes. Please consider being a member. Follow me on Instagram, Mercedes GPC. Stay safe and continue to wear your mask. Thank you.